Hello. The game is Valheim. Hello everybody, I just wanted to do a quick video about how to back up your world saves and your character saves in Valheim. I use a system that I use on a lot of different games. It's a script running on 7-zip, but I wanted to show just, a basic way, a basic script way, and then the way I do it. I figured it might be helpful for some of my subscribers out there. Just wanting to know maybe how to back up their world saves and how to back up their character saves. It protects against corruption, file corruption. It allows you to go back to previous versions, because Valheim has like an autosave feature. It doesn't allow you to like click a button and save and then you have a version dated and everything like that. So this method will allow you to do that. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you find the video helpful, please make sure you share it with others who might find it helpful. Give it a likey, thumbs up, subscribe if you want to be a subscriber, all that good stuff. Videos like these are sponsored by viewers like you, so thank you very much. Okay, so first thing you want to do is find out where the game saves your game files to. So what you need to do is browse via your file browser, or you can enter a command line, however you want to do it. However you access your files, you want to go into C drive, which is your primary drive. Most people it's C, could be D, E, F, depends on your computer setup, but most people it's C. Users, and then this is your PC name, whatever you called your computer. You could call your computer, living room. You could have called your computer, Windows 10. Whatever your computer name is, that's what it's going to be. Then AppData, LocalLow, IronGate, and then Valheim. And that's going to be where your system files are, where your world saves and where your character saves are, and they're two different. So you can do backups of just your world, and then you can also do backups of your characters in your system. So this is in your Valheim directory. You're going to have characters, screenshots, worlds, and some other files here. Band list, stuff like that is for your servers, I'm assuming. So let's start with characters, right? Because you can actually use this to kind of cheat death. Let's say you die, you lose all your stuff. You can actually go into your backup and pull your character file and swap it out, and it'll be fine. So the basic backup without using any programs, let's go into characters. You'll see my character here. That's the character file. That designates my character's level, everything about my character, the inventory my character has on it, all of its skill points, everything. It automatically backs up the previous save. So you'll see this is my character, and it puts the .old to it. So this is in case, they do this, I think, in case your primary gets corrupt. For whatever reason, the program will then go fetch your secondary backup, your backup. The file is relatively small, like 4 megabytes, but that's about it. So all you need to do to back it up is you can actually just use this one, but if you want more control, you just want to Control-C this, make a folder, like a separate folder here called backups, go in there and just Control-V, and it'll be in here. Now these are all my backups, right? So these are backups that I'm using in a different method using 7-zip, but I'll get into that in a little bit in the video. It's a little more technical. So if all you want to do is just manual backups, Control-C, go into a folder, Control-V, there it is. Now it's backed up, and it'll stay that version until you come in here and manually do it again. That's the simplest method. Same thing for worlds. So worlds has the same system. My world is called First World, so my game file is called YOURWORLD.db. As you can see, it's a little bit larger. It's 44 megabytes, 45 megabytes maybe, and then the game does the previous backup as well. So same thing. You can just create a folder called backups, Control-C, go into backups, Control-V, boom, you're done. That's doing it manually. So let me get into showing you how to script it a little bit using Windows. You can script it so you can just kind of click on an icon and it'll do all that for you. So while you're playing the game or whatever, you just want to do a quick backup, you just click an icon and it'll go boop boop and copy everything for you. So I'll show you that real quick. Alright, so to automate the process, instead of going in and Control C to copy, Control V to paste manually, you just want to click something, you're going to need to open up Notepad so we can create a script, a batch file, that'll tell Windows to do it whenever you click it. So to do that, you want to open up Notepad, Notepad.exe. It's on every Windows computer. It's just a basic text editing software. If you don't want to use that, or if you want something better than that, use Notepad++. That's what I'm using. It's a free program. You can go out on the internet to a trusted site and download that. It's free app, and it's very good for using, for typing, and it's a little bit better than Notepad. That's what I use. Anyway, so what you want to do is just type in a DOS command, right, which is copy. Now, I could take off word wrap on this so you can kind of see it's not multiple lines. If I can remember where word wrap is. As you can see, it's all one line here. So what you're going to do is type copy, space, and then the path to the file that you want to copy. And let me put back on word wrap. As you can see, it's all one line. But I'll put it back on word wrap so we can see. There we go. So copy whatever drive, mostly it's going to be on C drive. Users, your computer name will be in this area, so everybody, this is what's going to be different for everybody. AppData, LocalLow, IronGate, Valheim, Worlds, whatever your save file is called. My world is called First World, because I'm super unoriginal, and that's just what I do a lot of times. And then .db, that's the file extension. So you're just going to type that in. That's saying you want to copy this, and then space, and then the next thing is you want to say where you want to copy it to. So just make another folder in your worlds folder called like backups or something, and then put this in. And then you want to do space and then a /yes, or I think it's yes. Yeah, I think it's /yes. Basically what the /y does is, since you're already going to have a first world in your backup, once you use this a single time, when you use a second time, it's going to say, hey, you already have a file named the same thing. Do you want to overwrite it? /y automatically tells it yes. So basically, every time you click it, it's going to take the most recent version of what's in your world save and then overwrite whatever is here. So you just want that. This is about as basic as you can automate it, right? And then you want to take this and you want to save this file. You want to save this file and call it whatever you want, .bat. So, you can call it Valheim backup.bat. And then let me just spell that for you. Like, so it'd be like Val, my caps lock's on, Valheim backup.b. You don't even have to do caps, just BAT. That BAT changes the system file. You don't want a TXT, a text file. You don't want that. You want a BAT file. That's a BAT file. That's that tells the system to execute this file as a MS-DOS command. So it's basically the same thing as opening up an MS-DOS window, running the command, and then closing the window. Is what's going to happen. So when you run this, you'll get a little quick box that pops up. That's it, done. It's not even going to give you confirmation. It's going to go too quick for you to even probably see. And then for your character, you just do the same exact thing. Instead of worlds, you go into the character folder that I showed you earlier and put character and then whatever your character name is, and then do a similar backup folder into that character instead of worlds. Same exact thing. Save this. The important thing is the extension has to be BAT. You cannot save it as a text file, or when you try to open it, it's just going to open a text file. Now, how do we get even more advanced than this? Let me show you that. So one of the things that I do, and I use this for multiple games, whenever a game has like a file that needs to be backed up, a world save or something, and the program itself doesn't have a means for me to do that automatically, I use this script a lot. So I've used this in other games, and then I just modify it for whatever game I'm playing. So this is a very handy script. So right now what we're seeing is we're in my worlds directory, and I have created an extra folder called backups, and so I'll go into that. Now what you're seeing here are a lot of compressed files, right? And then you notice it says Thursday 2/25/2021. Then it has a bunch of numbers after it, world backup, and then it's a compressed zip file. As you can see, it compresses this from 45,000 down to 14, so it's actually nice because it saves you disk space. And then I have multiple revisions, right? I can back this up as many times as I want and have as many versions as I want without having to worry about it. How I achieve that is by appending this name onto the WorldBackup.zip instead of just having like first world or something that gets overwritten. What I tell the script to do is to name it the day, the date, the time, and then a file name .zip. So basically what this is Thursday, February 25th, 2021. I think this is hours. This is minutes. This is seconds. And then this is milliseconds. So you're never going to, even if you click it, boom, 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 like 3 times fast and run it 3 times fast, you know, milliseconds are changing. So that's basically, this number here is always going to be different. So the file is always going to be different. So you never have to worry about overwriting, and you can have multiple versions. Now you can't do this kind of complex command with regular MS-DOS, at least not that I know of. You have to utilize another program, a DOS command for another program, and I like using 7-zip. It's a good program. It's like WinZip. It's just a compression software, which will be needed to run the script that I'm about to show you. So you need to go out and download that from a reliable website. It's a free program. It's very good. It's like WinZip. It's like WinRAR. You know, it's just a compression software. So basically, go out and get that, and then you will be able to do what I'm about to show you. So now we're going to get a little crazy with the script here. So this, what you're looking at here, is my 7-zip batch file script that adds the date and the time to the backup. Very similar to what we just did, but again, this requires 7-zip because you're no longer using the copy command. You're using the 7z command, which tells the operating system to execute this command through 7-zip when you run the batch file. Basically, I'll try to explain it as best I can. Basically, this is 3 lines, so it's one whole line. This is all one line. Then I just have a space for, you know, visual appeal, so my eyes don't go bonkers trying to read it. And then this is all another line. I just have it, you know, wrapped so we can see the whole thing on the screen. And again, I'll put this in the description in my video, so if you just want to copy and paste this, for you it should be as easy as copy and pasting this, editing whatever your PC name is here, and then, you know, you can leave this the same as I've left it, WorldBackup.zip, or you can name it whatever you want. But really the only thing you have to change is your PC name here, as long as it's on your C drive. Just validate C drive users, AppData, LocalLow, IronGate, Valheim, Worlds, and make sure that your file name is in there. Whatever your first world is too, you'll have to change that. So what this is for my worlds. This whole line is to back up my world. This whole line is to back up my character. So when I click it, it's going to back up my world, then it's going to back up my character. So basically, you just 7z is the command, space A, space, and then the path. Now this is backwards from the DOS. The path to where you want it to zip up to and how you want it named. So as you can see, this is the path, but then I have %date, and then %space dash, and then time. So you want to copy this exactly. So this is basically saying pull the system date, pull the system time, and then append WorldBackup.zip to the end is basically what it's saying, without getting too complex. But you got to type, this part is going to be the part where you can mess up a lot. I would recommend just copy and pasting it, and then changing whatever your backup you want it named to be. Change whatever your world is called, and change whatever your PC name is. Same thing for your character. It's the same exact thing. This is where you want it to go and what you want it to be called, and this is what you are backing up. So this is the file you're backing up, the world, and this is the character. Pretty simple. It's a little technical. You know, unfortunately, this is the most I can help you. So if you have questions, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to help you with your questions that might be specific to your PC. Hopefully you'll be able to figure that out with a little bit of Googling. But if you do this and then save it to a name, 7zipbackup.bat, just like I showed you before with the standard batch file. Real quick, just slipping in an edit here. In post-processing, I noticed I did not mention, make sure you save this bat file under your 7-zip directory. So if you look in the upper left-hand corner, you see my 7-zip is located in C program file 7-zip. And then this bat file is placed within the 7-zip directory. The reason for that is when you call the 7z command, it's best to do that if you're in the directory itself. So you want to create this bat file in the 7-zip directory. You can then create a shortcut to that bat file and put it on your desktop. That way you can launch it on your desktop or wherever. But it's important, and I forgot to mention that if you try to put this bat file on your desktop when you try to call the 7-zip command, because it's basically saying launch the 7-zip executable, it may not find it unless you specify that. So how I have it written here, very important, make sure you have the bat file for 7-zip in the 7-zip directory, and then you can utilize shortcuts to launch it from elsewhere. This should do exactly what I was showing you and be able to back up your files, and that way you don't ever have to worry about your world crashing. You have different world versions, so if you want to go back to what your world was 5 days ago when you backed it up, you can. You don't have to worry about making mistakes. You can cheat a little bit. If you die, you can back up your character and even back up your world. The only difference is, the only reason you want to back up your world is like if you die, your backpack falls and your boat is left wherever you were, or whatever. When you back up your character, you're going to have all your stuff, but the world will still be the same. So you'll still have a loot bag, and you're essentially duping items if you do that, which is kind of cheesy. And there's also better ways to get items if you want to just cheat like that. So, you usually want to back up if you're using this because you died and you're like, I want to take that back, and you don't feel like going to get your stuff. You'd want to back up you'd want to restore your character, restore your world at the same time. So I think I explained that well enough. Let me get into how you restore. So restoring is very simple. Restoring is a manual process, right? You don't want to automatically restore stuff with clicks. I mean, you could, but you want to be able to pick and choose which backup. So basically, you just go to your worlds folder, right? So this is Valheim worlds and characters. So if I want to back up or restore my world, go into there. I go into my backups. I can just double click on this zip because I have 7-zip installed, right? It's going to say, hey, this could be harmful. Yeah, I know it's not harmful because I know what the file is, and I know I just backed up. It just says that on all zip files. You're opening a zip file, it could be harmful. Don't worry about that. As you can see, it just has my file in there that I backed up. You can see it has a 70% compression ratio, which is nice. Just click it, Control-C to copy, go back, go back again, and then Control-V will paste it, and since it's named the same thing, it'll just paste over top. You're done. It's restored. That simple. If you're using just the standard batch script, you would just grab your first world. If you're not using the 7-zip that I said, you just do the same thing. Control-C, go in, Control-V, it'll overwrite it. Now it's restored back to the previous version. So it's very, very simple. I prefer the 7-zip method to where you could have multiple versions and you just click the button. And here, I'll go ahead and click the 7-zip. Let me see if it'll pop up on the screen just to show you what you see when it's backing up, right? Yeah, let me pull that over so you can see. It just shows you it's compressing, and then instantaneously it did the character, and it's backed up now. I just did a fresh backup right here. So yeah, so 3/6/1:42 p.m. is when I'm doing this. Just did a complete fresh backup. So there you go. It's pretty simplistic. I use this script for a lot of games just to do backups. I keep a little icon, the batch file icon, on my desktop. Let me do this too. Let me see. Okay, so what I have here is my my backup property. So I just clicked on the shortcut, my batch file, and you can see I have it 7-zip backup.bat. So I just have it in my C drive program file, 7-zip folder, 7-zip backup.bat is what I called it. And then I put a shortcut onto my desktop, and then I can just click on it. What you can also do, if you just want to make it look nicer, you can go to advanced, hit OK. Oops, I'm sorry, change icon. Just hit change icon, and then you can pick from a bunch of different system icons what you want to yeah, you can give it whatever icon that's in here that looks nice for you. I just gave it a little star icon, just something you can dress it up a little bit so you know exactly what it is. But that's it. That's all you got to do. Pretty simple. It's a little bit technical if you're not a computer IT type person, but I think most gamers won't have a problem utilizing this. It's just a nice way of backing up your files for the game. It works for Valheim, and it'll work for any game that uses a file for their world saves and their character saves. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please give it a like if you did. If you know anybody else who might find this video interesting, make sure you share my channel with them. Let them know to come here for this information. Feel free to subscribe if you're not a subscriber, so you can get the heads up when I put out new videos and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video.